50 blades of grass, getting all the dirt. Today's podcast will cover green collar repair, and that'll be covered by Adam, our new assistant superintendent. And then we're going to have an opportunity to tour the maintenance yard. Not many people have seen what kind of equipment we have, how it's used, and how tight the space really is. And that'll be covered by John. And then we're going to celebrate someone's 25th year anniversary, and you'll get to meet the entire staff. So let's get going. I'd like to introduce the group to Adam, our new assistant superintendent. How are you doing, Adam?
Good. How about yourself?
Very good. So what's the process here?
So we're just leveling out the collars.
Okay. On a number of our greens, we have a collar that prevents the ball from rolling off, and this maintenance work will remove that and make it a nice, smooth transition.
So we'll strip the sod, and then we'll re-level heads in this instant, just because they're in the way.
So just get a little better collar around the green itself?
Right. We won't have those collar dams for play, and then just overall for grooming.
Okay, so the collar dams has been a big complaint that people have brought up, so it's good to see that we're addressing it. Looks like this is on the 18th green.
So the 18th collar the approach has actually already been re-leveled this morning.
Okay.
So we stripped about 48 inches down towards the approach and re-leveled.
Okay, great. Yep. Well, welcome aboard to Round Hill, and thanks for your time. As you can see, there really isn't much space for all the maintenance equipment, but John has managed to shoehorn in every piece of equipment and try to put as much as possible under roof.
All right, so right off to the right here, this is just overflow cart parking, utility cart parking. We've got a large fairway sand top dresser, delivery unit, so surface conditioning, rooting profile. Okay. It's able to spread other materials. It's also used as a conveyor to transport sand to smaller vehicles, smaller top dressers.
Okay.
All our hoses for the golf course. And then we've got two material bays right here that hold bunker sand.
Now, why do we have two different ones? Just same material?
Well, this next pile here, this covered pile, is our greens top dressing sand.
Okay.
It actually comes in dry. That's why we...
is it a finer material
than the finer sand? It's referred to as TD320. It's It's compatible with our greens profile.
Okay.
Then more storage for tractors, equipment, and such. Again, overflow cart parking.
Okay.
Or a lot of these tractors have air fires attached to them.
Right. Okay. Yes.
We've got.
So those are the things that are punching the holes into fairways.
Right. This small machine here is a seeder. Right here. Then we've got another air fire behind that that hooks up to that previous tractor. This is a drill seeder. This is a smaller. We have a larger version, and this is a tow behind. Behind a cart.
So it inserts seed as well as punching.
So it thatches. It just thatches and delivers seed to the open slit.
Okay.
Again, smaller greens mowers that we don't store in the shop. Again, there's a larger seeder in the back. This red machine here is a fertilizer spreader, material spreader.
Okay.
So, I mean, everything's kind of stacked up on each other, but it's...
As it's stored for the evening.
This large machine here is our fairway, another fairway aerifier.
So when it's aerifying, so these are the little punches that go down, up and down. They're oscillating, punching holes and removing some cores.
That's correct.
I see that.
Right. Right here is our fuel pad, combination fuel pad, wash bay, and then our sprayer. We fill our materials right here.
Okay.
As we spray greens or fairways or whatever surface we have out there.
Let's go over to the bays here and take a look at what we have here.
This is the mechanics bay right here. He has a lift in here to lift just about any mower we have, not tractors, but just small, the small utility mowers, the fairway units and such.
What percentage of maintenance is done in-house versus farming it out?
Probably 95% of it's done in-house. We do outsource for depending on the time of year, depending where the mechanic is, we'll occasionally have outside grinders that take care of our reels on our fairway units and
Okay.
sometimes our greens.
Quite a challenge. Small space, and also one guy really handling
It
all this
is
equipment.
small space. Right here we have our triplex units, greens unit. This is a electric greens unit right here.
Okay.
And then the older triplex here, this does all the triplex mowing, the verticutting on greens.
Okay.
Um,
So the mowing on the greens are really handled by these
well,
monsters
right, the
for the
larger
most
ones.
part.
Yeah, then we do most of our greens mowing with these mowers right here.
Okay.
Um, it's
Well,
really important here that we have a place for everything and everything in its place. I mean,
yeah, I see you got it
so
stacked perfectly, really well, very well organized, so everything kind of fits in its spot.
right.
It looks like we have back there a couple of our sprayers.
So we have two of the newer sprayers here. We keep these inside for obvious reasons. There's a lot of sensitive components on these that have to be protected from the weather.
Yes.
These incidentally are controlled by GPS RTK signals when we do spray.
Yeah, you can see the little GPS units on the top. And from what you told me the other day, you can control it within an inch.
Within several inches.
Within
So what that allows us to do is map the areas we're spraying, and then individual nozzles will shut down on and off as you go within
Okay.
these
Neat,
areas.
neat. And it looks like here we have our chemical storage,
This is
the
chemical storage.
liquid and dry.
All our pesticides are stored here for the most part.
Okay.
Insecticides,
Right.
fungicides, and such. Right next to it on the left, this is just overflow of seed, again covered up just because of the weather.
Right.
Fertilizers, and then some sand supply.
Okay. And then moving along here we have, looks like we have a lot of hand mowers and blowers.
This is all our small tools.
Yes.
Here.
Look at that, very well organized. Everything is kind of hung in its place. End of the day, people do a good job of really making sure that
right.
they can find it the next day.
It gives the mechanic a chance to inventory and service any of those pieces that have to come in and out.
Okay.
We've got a fairway unit and a rough unit that is stored right behind these sprayers inside.
Okay, yes. And so these are the guys that are the workhorses that are doing all the fairways and roughs.
Right. We have, and then there's another pair of those stored on the outside.
So is it a different machine that does the fairway versus the rough?
Right.
Is it based on the blade height or the blade?
Right. So we have actual reel mowers on the fairway units, and then rotary decks on the rough units.
On the rough areas. Okay.
This is where all the utility vehicles are kept right here.
Okay. Yeah. These are you see the guys driving around all the time using these. That's how they get the equipment and themselves out to the different spots on the
So we've
course.
got various, I don't know if you can see them, various blowers on the other side.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You know, these blowers really play an important part because I can remember the days when I used to play at Boundary Oaks in the fall and you had leaves all over the place. We don't have leaves on our course. And those blowers make it happen.
And the utility mowers here, these mow the tee and green banks, these two particular mowers. This mower with the 8 tires is actually for traverse some of the bigger hillsides that needs a little more traction.
Yeah.
Lower center of gravity.
Oh, yeah, I see. Right. Very designed with the lower center of gravity to be able to safely handle the hills.
Again, we've got a fairway intermediate cut, then another fairway unit, another rough unit right here.
So how many cutters do we have in total?
So we've got 2 fairway units, 2 rough units, 2 bank units, that utility mower there. So what's that, 8, 9 pieces right there.
Okay. All right.
And then all the, again, utility carts are kept in a line here.
Yeah. Top dressers, once again, the sand spreading.
Sand,
units.
amendment.
Okay, and amendment.
Seed. Then the bigger utility vehicles are kept here.
Okay.
And then we've got a forklift that really helps out, just moving some of the palletized stuff that we have.
And a whole different variety of different rakes for different tasks I see you have.
Right. So our hand tools, again, are just again, we just have to be somewhat organized with all the
Right.
hand tools.
As needed, the guys come and grab it based upon their assignment.
Right. So,
Okay.
and then right here we have another small fairway unit as a backup unit here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little narrower than our typical fairway unit, but this helps out if one should go down and kind of supplements the cut.
Okay. What is this little structure right here in front of
The
us?
small building is actually a locker room.
Oh, for the crew.
For the staff.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I see we have a pile of sand here as well.
so yes, we have different materials. So that we're looking at 3 different sands right here. This is more of a general top dress sand, a fill sand that we'll always be using for either tees or divot repair or anything of that nature.
And when we really do the major sanding, we have it brought in separately, and it's put out on the parking lot.
Right, and that'll happen in several weeks here.
In several weeks, and I think you said somewhere around 500 tons.
550 tons to 600 tons.
That's a lot of
so
material.
It's about 20 truckloads.
That's a lot of material.
This tent structure here is just more for an extension of the break room, so that some of the guys eat their lunch out here.
Right.
Versus inside.
Okay.
And then inside the building here, we've got another locker room and some storage, and then the employee break room.
Great. All right. Well, that I think is very helpful. I think the membership is not really aware of what happens behind these walls, and you've given us a little insight. I notice there is a little box right outside your door. How do these accumulate in these boxes, John?
Well, these are all balls that are hit off the first tee that end up down near the office here.
Okay.
Not to mention up on our roofs and.
Okay, I hope none of them have J's on them. That's my ball.
Well, I mean, if you're passing by and you see it, you're always welcome to take some.
All right, good. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thank you.
All right. Here, John is awarding Rafael Quezada his 25-year award for working with Roundhill. Congratulations. And I'd like to introduce you to the total team that makes it happen and keeps our course in great shape. Now, don't forget to send me those questions. That makes this podcast go. So remember, send them to this email address right up here. Thanks again for your help. Or you can add your questions below in the comment field. And don't forget to give me some likes. Now don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to get notified when new podcasts come out. Thanks for listening.